Time now for a look at your health. There is another reason, guys, to order that side salad instead of fries. New research says eating deep fried foods on a regular basis may be linked to an increased risk of prostate cancer. The study by the U.S. National Cancer Institute found men who ate fried foods at least once a week can be 37% more likely to develop the disease. Now to another topic that affects a lot of men and marriages, quite frankly, snoring. It's annoying to listen to at night, but it can also be a real medical problem, even lead to serious health problems. So here to talk about ways to treat snoring is Dr. Mitchel Goldman from UCSD. As always, thanks for being here.
Yep, good to be here.
Okay, quick question. Is it curable?
You know, it's not curable, but it's treatable. Now, there are some surgical reasons or surgical techniques that you can do, which is a uvulectomy where you cut the back, that little thing that goes down in the back, and you actually scar the upper palate, and that can be curable. But the biggest thing about snoring is it's very treatable.
All right, let's talk about who does it most often, and that seems to be men. Why is that?
You know, it's part of our anatomy. You know, guys have a different structure to what's called the hard palate or the upper palate. And so what happens in snoring is that you actually, if we can go to the anatomy slide, what happens is that upper palate actually vibrates. And when it vibrates, that's what causes over here in the back of the tongue, that's what causes that snoring. So things that cause it to do that are alcohol. If you drink a lot of alcohol, if you're overweight, that upper palate's going to be a little bit more soft, it's going to vibrate a little bit more and causes snoring.
And it can be age and heredity and weight gain and all these things that you're listing, including...
Right, and especially acid reflux. People don't realize that, but if you have acid reflux, it'll cause an inflammation of the back of the throat called the pharynx, and that can also lead to snoring.
All right, this is an issue in my house, so it is annoying because it disrupts your sleep, it disrupts their sleep, and by the way, it's not me. But what concerns me, like I think most people, we kind of glaze over it thinking, oh, it's just an annoyance. But what are some of the serious health problems that you could develop down the road from snoring?
It's called sleep apnea, and there's a few different kinds of sleep apnea, but obstructive sleep apnea can actually cut off the oxygen supply. You stop breathing, your oxygen levels go really low, and that can be very dangerous, especially with people with heart disease. But even if it's not, you don't have heart disease, and you're not going to die from it, you're going to wake up in the morning, you're going to feel tired, you're not going to get a good night's sleep because your body has to sort of stay in almost an awake state in order to remember to keep breathing. So there's a number of things that can be done. You know, there's almost 300 different devices you can buy for snoring, but for sleep apnea, the most common one is called a CPAP, and that's literally a mask that you wear that shoots high-pressured air into your pharynx or your mouth in order to keep the passage open and force oxygen into your lungs. But that's not very sexy, and that's not very good for a partner next to you because it makes a lot of noise.
Right.
So there's a brand new device, and that's why I wanted to come on today.
And what's it called?
It's called the Mimics, or the Winks. It's called the Winks. And what it does is it's just a small device. So instead of this huge mask, it's really small. It lifts the palate up through suction. It works most of the time, not in everyone, but most of the time. But the beauty is it makes absolutely no noise. So your partner can be sleeping next to you with this in the mouth, almost like a little mouth guard. All you see is a little wire coming out of the mouth, and there's no noise at all. This will raise the palate, make sure that the partner is getting enough oxygen, and prevent him from snoring.
So where do you get a hold of these?
Well, unfortunately, they're not yet available worldwide.
Okay.
But they've been released in San Francisco. They're available in most cities. And San Diego, we're looking, or the company's looking for a sleep center to start selling them. But they're actually not that expensive. They should be covered under insurance policies. They're way less expensive than the CPAP. And if you don't have insurance, I think it's like $150 or something. So it's not a real bad thing. And you know, $150 is a small price to pay if you're going to get a really good night's sleep and stay married.
Yeah, and better health, healthy marriage, healthy body. And by the way, for all of you out there, before we send it over to Walter, it's spelled W-I-N-X, Winks, and it sounds like a pretty good solution. Thank you. Always good to have you.
Good to be here.
Walter?